Imagine this. You're sitting in the TOEFL writing test. The tasks appear on your screen, but you're not nervous. You're ready. You've practiced with proven tips and you know exactly what each task requires. You know how to give high-scoring answers and what the TOEFL examiners are looking for. We've helped thousands of students prepare this way through our online courses. They discover how strategic preparation can completely change their results. In this video, you'll learn 10 powerful tips that separate low-scoring candidates from high-scoring candidates. If you're ready to study smarter, stay tuned. By the end of this lesson, you'll know exactly how to prepare for the TOEFL writing test with focus, confidence, and a clear plan. Tip number 1 is understanding the 3 task types. The TOEFL writing test has 3 distinct tasks. Knowing what each one requires saves you valuable time and helps you avoid common mistakes. Task 1 is called Build a Sentence. You'll see one complete sentence followed by a second sentence where the words or phrases are all out of order. Your job is to rearrange those words and phrases to create a grammatically correct sentence that makes sense as a reply to the first one. This task tests your control of sentence structures. Task 2 is write an email. You have 7 minutes to write an email response based on a scenario and a set of bullet points. You need to address all of the bullet points, use an appropriate format, and match the right tone depending on who you're writing to. Task 3 is write for an academic discussion. You have 10 minutes to write at least 100 words as part of an online class discussion. You need to state your opinion clearly and support it, while also making a contribution that connects meaningfully to what other students have already said. When you understand what each task is asking you to do, you can approach it with the right plan instead of guessing. This awareness alone can make a significant difference to your score. The second tip focuses specifically on the Build a Sentence task. This task looks simple, but many candidates lose points because they don't pay close enough attention to how English sentence structures work. When you start with the Build a Sentence task, the first thing to do is read the first sentence carefully. That sentence gives you the context you need to figure out what the second sentence should say. The 2 sentences form a short conversation, so the reply has to make logical sense. Take a look at this example. The first sentence says, "My neighbor just adopted a dog from the shelter." And here are the words you need to arrange. If you think about what would naturally come next in the conversation, you can work out the correct order. How is he getting along with the cat? Next, think about grammar. Look at which words are verbs, which are subjects, and which are connectors. Words like that, which, if, and whether are important clues because they often introduce dependent clauses and they can't go just anywhere in the sentence. Also, watch out for questions. Sometimes the response needs to be a question, not a statement. If you see question words like what, when, or how, the sentence will probably need to follow the question word order. Getting this right shows the examiner that you understand how English grammar works in real conversations. Tip number 3 is crucial if you want to score high in the write an email and academic discussion tasks. Choose advanced vocabulary and use it accurately. There's a big difference between using an advanced word correctly and forcing in a word that doesn't quite fit. The TOEFL examiners reward precise idiomatic word choice. This means using words that native speakers would naturally use in that context. When you replace a basic word with a more advanced one, think carefully about whether the meaning is actually the same and whether it sounds natural in that sentence. Let's say you need to write an email to a university admissions office. Here is a simple sentence. I want to ask about the application process because I don't understand some parts. And here is an advanced version. I am writing to request clarification regarding certain aspects of the admissions procedure that I found unclear. The phrase request clarification regarding is more precise and more advanced than want to ask about. It's also the kind of language a competent English writer would naturally use in this context. To ensure you use advanced language, use templates. Templates provide you with sentence starters for the write an email and academic discussion tasks. They include plenty of advanced vocabulary and different sentence structures, so you can show the TOEFL examiners that your English is advanced. This can really boost your score. Let me show you some powerful sentence starters you can use in different email situations. For making a formal request, you could use this sentence starter. I am writing to request information regarding. When you need to describe a problem, you might write, I am writing to bring to your attention an issue concerning. When making suggestions, these are excellent sentence starters. I would recommend considering. It might be beneficial to. These sentence starters work beautifully because they demonstrate that you know how to use advanced vocabulary and a variety of sentence structures. When you use structures like I would recommend or it might be beneficial, you're showing the TOEFL examiners that you can use conditional forms and other complex grammar naturally. The best thing about templates is that you don't have to think about how to start your sentences. You can simply start writing, you use the sentence starter, and then you complete the sentence with your ideas for that particular email task. If you want to write confidently like high-scoring candidates, check out our TOEFL packages. You'll find all the templates and strategies you need to write high-scoring responses. The link is just below this video. Tip number 4 is absolutely essential for the write an email task. Many candidates lose points here because they focus too much on one bullet point and forget about the others. The TOEFL examiners check whether you've responded to every single point in the prompt. If you miss one, your score will go down. Before you start writing, take a few seconds to read the prompt and the bullet points. Make sure you know exactly how many there are. Then, as you write, mentally check off each one. A good approach is to give each bullet point its own short paragraph. That way, it's easy for the examiner to see that you've covered everything. Tip number 5 is something many candidates overlook. Use the right tone for each task. The TOEFL examiners are specifically looking at whether your language matches the situation. Getting the tone wrong can cost you points even if your grammar is perfect. For the write an email task, the tone depends on who you're writing to. If you're writing to a landlord, a department head, or someone you've never met, your language needs to be formal and respectful. Use full greetings like Dear Mr. Patel or Dear Dr. Kim. Avoid contractions and casual phrases. For example, don't write like this. Hi, the boiler's been broken for days. Fix it, please. Instead, write, Dear Mr. Patel, I am writing to bring to your attention an ongoing issue with the heating system in my apartment, which has not been functioning properly for several days now. I would greatly appreciate your assistance in arranging a repair at your earliest convenience. For the academic discussion task, the tone is a little different. You're participating in an online class discussion, so your language should be academic but still conversational. It shouldn't sound like a formal essay, but it shouldn't sound like a text message either. Here is an example. I think Sophia raises an interesting point about cost. But from my perspective, the long-term savings from energy-efficient buildings far outweigh the initial investment. When cities commit to sustainable infrastructure, everyone benefits over time. When you match your tone to the task, you demonstrate to the TOEFL examiners that you understand different communication contexts and can adapt your writing accordingly. By the way, if you want this channel to keep going, write yes in the comments, click like and subscribe. We only make videos that you actually want to watch. The next tip is crucial. Use a variety of sentence structures in both your email and your academic discussion posts. One of the key things TOEFL examiners look at is whether you can use different grammatical patterns or whether you rely on the same simple structures over and over. If every sentence follows the exact same pattern, your writing is going to sound flat and repetitive. High-scoring responses mix things up with subordinate clauses, relative clauses, and conditional structures. Take a look at this example. The library hours changed. I didn't know. I couldn't return the books on time. This doesn't sound very advanced. Instead, try combining and varying these ideas. As I was unaware that the library hours had changed, I was unfortunately unable to return the books before closing time. The same principle applies to the academic discussion task. Don't write like this. Public transport is useful. Many people use it. It helps the environment. Instead, try this. While some people still prefer to drive, the majority of commuters in large cities rely on public transport, which not only reduces traffic congestion, but also significantly lowers carbon emissions. You don't need to use complicated grammar in every single sentence. The goal is to show the examiner that you have a range and that you know how to use that range naturally. Tip number 7 is a score booster for both the email and the academic discussion. Use transitions to connect your ideas clearly. Transitions show the TOEFL examiner that your writing has a logical flow and that you know how to link ideas together in a sophisticated way. In the write an email task, transitions help you move naturally from one bullet point to the next. Words and phrases like in addition, furthermore, and I would also like to mention signal to the reader that you're shifting to a new point. This makes your email feel organized and easy to follow. Here is an example. I am pleased to confirm that I will be attending the orientation session on Monday. Furthermore, I would like to know whether parking will be available for new students, as I will be driving from out of town. The word furthermore signals that you are adding a new point. For the academic discussion, transitions are just as important. They show how your reasons connect to your main point, and they help the examiner follow your argument. For instance, you can use words like as a result, for this reason, and on the other hand. Here is an important point. Don't just use the same 1 or 2 transitions throughout your whole response. Mix them up. If you've already used furthermore once, try moreover or in addition the next time. This variety demonstrates vocabulary range, which is one of the things examiners are specifically checking for. Tip number 8 is specific to the academic discussion task. It's a tip that many candidates miss. Make a genuine contribution to the discussion. It's not enough to just state your opinion and explain it. You need to add something meaningful to the conversation that's already happening. In the prompt, you'll see a professor's question and 2 student responses. Read those student responses carefully before you start writing. High-scoring candidates engage with the discussion. They might agree with one student and build on their point, or they might respectfully disagree and explain why. For example, let's say one student argues that universities should make internships compulsory, and another student says it would put too much pressure on students. Don't just repeat one of those positions. You can acknowledge both sides and add your own perspective. While I understand that compulsory internships could add to students' workload, as Yuki points out, I believe that the professional experience they provide is too valuable to leave optional. Most students I know who completed internships say it was the most important part of their degree. This approach shows the examiner that you've read the discussion, thought about the different viewpoints, and added something new to the conversation. That's exactly what the scoring criteria for this task are looking for. Next, manage your time carefully across all 3 tasks. You have about 23 minutes for the entire writing section, and each task has its own time limit. For the build a sentence task, work quickly and don't overthink each item. If you get stuck on one sentence, make your best attempt and keep moving. For write an email, you have 7 minutes. First, read the prompt and plan what you'll say. Then, write your email, making sure to address all bullet points. Leave some time at the end to quickly read through what you've written and fix any obvious errors. For the academic discussion task, you have 10 minutes and need to write at least 100 words. Start writing as soon as you have your main idea. A good structure is to state your opinion, give 1 or 2 reasons with specific examples, and wrap up with a sentence that connects back to the discussion. Finally, tip number 10 is extremely important. Leave time to check your work. Careless errors in grammar, spelling, or punctuation are avoidable mistakes that can pull your score down. For the write an email task, once you've finished writing, read through your response quickly. Check that your greeting and closing are appropriate, that all bullet points are covered, and that there are no obvious mistakes like missing words or incorrect verb forms. For the academic discussion task, do the same thing. Make sure your opinion is clearly stated, your examples make sense, and your response is at least 100 words. When you check your work, you're not looking to rewrite everything. You're just catching the small errors that can easily happen when you're writing quickly under time pressure. Fixing these errors before you submit shows the examiner that you have control over your language. And that's exactly what a high score requires. These are 10 essential tips for the TOEFL writing test. If you're serious about achieving the TOEFL score you need, check out our TOEFL packages using the link below. We'll guide you step by step on how to score high, so you'll feel confident on test day. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you're notified when the next video comes out. Also, share this video with your friends so they can improve their TOEFL score too. See you in the next video!